Hey fellow Earthbounders, my name is Ben Sleva. Yes, the W sounds like a V, it's because I'm Polish. Today I'm skipping the pleasantries because we have so much ground to cover before our next boss. We're fresh off the heels of the Guardian General, a massive brick man, but this time around we are in search of the exact opposite material that a creature can be made of. And I'm talking about our old friend Stinky, the gloopy glob that slithered away to hide in the darkness. Like gas station sushi, it starts as Belch and ends up as Barf. If you haven't guessed it by now, I'm talking about our old pal, Master Barf. And yes, the opposite of brick is barf. Duh. Last time I left you in the middle of a pyramid, scared and confused. The button inside the room following the Guardian General activated the drop hole in the center of the pyramid. So head back to that spot and jump down. It's here you'll find the Hawkeye, a marvelous piece of equipment that'll help you see in our next destination. Follow the remaining path of the pyramid until you reach the other side. There's still a bit of a hike and several enemies blocking your path, so stay sharp. Once you leave the back exit of the pyramid, Pooh's trainer will appear and whisk him away, so make sure you take any items away from Pooh that you may need. The two zip away all heroically, and you are left to your own thoughts and your other two allies. If you have money on you, stop in the north and buy some supplies from the merchant with the camel. Circle the water puddle and talk to the native there. He will give you a key to the tower. From there, head northwest to meet the hands-down, undisputed best character in the entire game, Dungeon Man. I'll save my fanboying for another video, but he fights like a champ when you use him, he hides away amazing real-life Easter eggs, and he's an all-around dude. Again, we have so much ground to cover that I don't want to swoon too long over one place. Inside, you'll be greeted by the Dungeon Man's, dungeon. To the left, you'll find a doctor's office to help with dead allies. A bench will help you heal your party with a good rest, and a telephone and an ATM for your outer world's needs. Get all healed and get ready for a bit of walking. The good thing to note is there aren't really tricky enemies inside. They consist of present enemies from your past, and the trickiest ones being the ones you encountered in the department store earlier. They have the same power level as they did back in Foresight, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. Our pal Dungeon Man consists of 4 levels. There are a couple presents worth diverging from that path that I'll cover, but I won't be visiting them all. Also, one of the best parts of Dungeon Man is the little placards that are lined about. Read as many as you can, they are all worth it. From the main fork, head right, take the first incline, follow it to the left until it ends for a couple of life noodles. Backtrack to the base of the incline and continue to the left as far as possible, skipping the second incline path, unless you want to get a super plush bear at the end. It's completely up to you. Keep at the path until you reach the rope wall. Choose the third rope from the left, the rest are just dead ends. From the proper rope, known as hole C, follow the path, hugging the right wall all the way until the dead ends at the bottom of the screen. Follow it to the left, and up at the first chance, you'll see a rope ladder. Take it. Straight ahead, you'll see another rope ladder. Take that. But before you do, collect the 2 presents you can see on the way. The closer one will be a Sudden Guts pill, and the second is a PSI caramel. After the second rope ladder through the ceiling, hug the wall and take the only rope in that room. That will take you to the quote-unquote end of the dungeon. You'll meet Brick Road himself, and he's just a charmer. After your chat, go to the first tool you see and follow all the preceding ones until you reach the main fork again. From here, save, and then head out to the front door. You now have a giant Dungeon Man attacking for your party. Feel free to engage a few battles in the meantime. Wander about the countryside as long as you'd like, but end up at the bottom of the map between these 2 trees. It's there that the Dungeon Man will get stuck and accept that he will live there for the rest of time. The path continues a bit where you'll find a native that will hint that you need a submarine. Returning to the Dungeon Man, he will explain that he has a submarine and that you need not worry anymore. He welcomes you to find it, and you get to do the dungeon all over again, you lucky son of... Seriously, if you want to rewind to the part of the video that helps you get back to the face wall where Brickman is, rewind. If not, then test your fate by going through on your own. Once you talk to our buddy again, he'll open up a second exit hole, lulz, you should now take. Follow the series of holes until you end up at this platform. Now follow the path, grabbing the talisman ribbon on the way and continuing to the end of the line among a pile of old vehicles and machines in the corner. Check the submarine and it will prompt Jeff in fixing it. You're now in a cutscene inside the submarine, heading out of Scaraba towards the destination of our boss. Don't worry, we still have a hike to reach him, but make sure you salute Dungeon Man as you drift away. Once back on terra firma, you'll find a weird-looking bird. That's your phone for saving and calling Escargo Express if you need them. Head to the right and up to the green grass. This is your downtown area. You can find a doctor, a hotel, an arms dealer, and a general store. If you need an ATM, you'll travel south a bit until you find an air pipe bobbing in the water. Stock up as needed and talk to the area people. Once you've upgraded, rested, and purchased some multi-bottle rockets, you're ready to head into the deep darkness. Travel until you reach the blacked-out place. Once you're surrounded by dark, use the Hawkeye and you'll be able to see fully. Now, I've spent a good amount of time outlining directions through maps and whatnot. Deep Darkness is no exception, but it is as easy as this. Find the right wall or a group of what appears to be mangrove trees. Here's a side note. I just came back from riding in an airboat from the Everglades with my family a couple weeks ago, and I've never connected this place looking exactly like trails we went there. I'll show you a video. This is what it looks like. Doesn't it look like Deep Darkness? I've never made that connection. Anyway, find the right side and trace it all the way until the boss. Here's a little example of what that means. It'll trim off some accidental traveling and running into enemies since you move pretty slow now. There are a slew of enemies that you'll find in this area. An absolute slew. Let's get an enemy roll call. We have a big pile of puke. Try not to breathe near this vomitrocious being. Its status-altering ailments add difficulty to the battle. Next, we have the demonic petunia. This plant proves that the Little Shop of Horrors orders its fauna from the Deep Darkness. Next is an even slimier little pile. Looks like someone tried to eat too much eggplant. It'll make you cry and call for help, so watch it. Next, a hard crocodile. This hard-hitting reptile has a soft size. A lucky victory will yield a super plush bear. Next is an hostile elder oak. Some old folks are just mean. Save him for last because, you guessed it, he explodes. Following him is the manly fish. He's not really that manly. He just keeps poking at you with his spear. He should be no trouble. And Manly Fish's brother, the aquatic foe, has the power to bring back the dead. And you can too, with the rare horn of life he drops. Pit Bull Slug to follow up. They're the pits. They like to travel in packs, but they're so easy. This just means free experience. And finally, we have the Zap Eel. Shockingly enough, it attacks with bolts of lightning, but the Franklin badge could help you get a one-up on that. That's been the enemy segment. Along the way, you'll find a couple of life noodles and a rock candy, which can be used to speed up the rock candy glitch now that you will have 2 of them, or possibly 3 maybe. After the last rock candy, you're only mere feet from this video's boss. Of all things to find in all places throughout the game, this is the first one that makes the most sense. It's just a slimy blob of barf squished between a narrow passage of scummy water. Grab your 2 friends' hands and march proudly up to Master Barf and get ready to mop him up once and for all. The Master of
Regurgitation
has returned for a second battle. Master Belch has more hit points, so he'll be tougher than ever, says the player's guide. He starts off by saying these actual lines: "Ground to death in puke," followed by, "Don't you think that was an incredibly masculine taunt to throw at you?" That's a crazy way to start a fight, in my opinion. Master Barf is an upgraded version of Master Belch. Master Barf is now immune to fly honey and can even call little slimy piles to help. His moveset includes Burp and Blow, nauseating breath, which targets 1 person. He can also start a continuous attack, which also attacks 1 person. He can exhale a blast of stinky breath, which makes everybody cry. He can, like I said, call for help, which can summon even slimier little piles. There you go. Use your standard attacks until you start crying. Once you start crying, use PSI Rockin', PSI Fire, and whatever bottle rockets or bazookas you have. Wait until after the battle to heal nausea, and keep your HP above 110 if possible. After he suffers enough damage, Pooh returns from his training with the Star Master, and kills Barf with his newly learned PSI Starstorm ability. I like to picture that this move makes Barf explode so amazingly that it obliterates him forever. He won't be able to run away this time, mostly because he's just specks of matter. Master Barf also drops the Casey Bat, always, which is the most powerful bat, but only has a 75% chance or less hit rate, so I never tend to use it. And there you have it, another glorious boss down. Finish your trek through the last little bit of swamp and enjoy the rest of your day resting in a cave. It's very quiet, I've heard. Next time we'll face up against the King of Starmen, and maybe we'll get lucky on the way, wink wink. I'll see you there when we talk about the incredible Starman Deluxe. Thanks as always for watching all the way through the video. Remember, only 5 more videos lay ahead, so plan accordingly. I am very much enjoying making these videos, and I can tell you guys like watching them. Check out the playlist so far on the left, and maybe some other random Earthbound videos on the right. And as always, later days.